Jon, listen, I imagine we'll be inducting you again at some point down the road. But I do want to ask you, Jon Jones, UFC Hall of Famer, how does that sound to you?
It feels really cool. It feels really cool. It's been a long time since I've gotten any type of like awards or anything like that outside of getting new belts. And this is a different feeling. And I'm very honored, very grateful. I feel like more established in a way. And it's just really cool.
So I was going to ask you how you felt about that first fight with Alex, right? Because I've heard some people say worst night of your career because it's the night you got pushed and tested for the first time. I've heard other people say best night of your career. You showed up on a night that you didn't have your best, you still got it out and found a way to win.
Yeah.
How do you look at it?
You know, it was cool because I got to almost take an L without actually losing. You know, a lot of people say that I had lost that fight, and it was great to come so close without actually losing. You know, people say things like, you never really become the fighter that you can be until you lose, and you learn so much. You only can learn when you lose, and in a way I did lose without actually losing. So I got to learn a lot that night, and I was really excited. I also got to figure out where my heart lies and where my like resilience lies. You know, that there's many times in the fight where I could have just went through that door of quitting, and I refused. You know, I dug deep and I brought out a little extra out of myself when things got really difficult. So I was grateful to see that, and yeah, it was just a great fight.
We got that famous photo in the hospital that night as well. Can you tell me what that moment was like and that conversation was like? Because here you go from rivals, you know, to now you're in a hospital together, right?
Yeah. So Gustafsson and I, we did a big tour leading up to our fight, and so we actually spent a lot of time together, and I felt like we hit it off a lot. You know, we laughed and joked about a lot of different things before we actually fought each other, and obviously when the fight begun, we both wanted the same thing, was that championship, so we fought like dogs. But right after, I think it was easy to remember all the time we spent together and just that good energy we had between each other. So that picture was a must. We were both all busted up, and for sure it became a classic photo.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a great 205-pound fight. You do not look like you're ready for a 205-pound fight anytime soon, my man.
Yeah, not anymore.
It was the update. We heard 260. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Right now I'm about 255, and I feel really great. My goal is to get up to 270 pounds. My goal is to be the most technical, the most well-conditioned, the strongest out of all the heavyweights. That's what I want. I want to take over all across the board, and that's what I'm going to continue working for. So I'm very patient, and I know I have several more months of work to do. And if anyone's impressed with the way I look today, I can't wait till they see me when I get back in there, because I'm just planning on doing so much more.
I think the concern is, right, cardio, right? We think about you being able to go 5 rounds. We think about you being slick, moving. Is there any concern at all that you get too big and some of that goes away?
No. So before I would start training about 10 weeks before a fight, and I would try to get my body fat down and my cardio up and my skills together. And right now, for the first time in my whole career, I'm actually training consistently. So I believe that my cardio is fight worthy right now. And when I get in camp, it's going to go to an even higher level. I feel in better shape now than I've ever did before. I'm sleeping better, eating better, drinking less alcohol, and I feel really good.
We're trying to get our 2021 calendar figured out, man. So Can you let us know what date do we pencil in that Jon Jones fight?
Man.
We need to know exactly kind of when it's happening.
I think it'll be sometime in the second quarter of 2022.
Yeah. Are we still title fight or bust? There's no other fights that would make sense. It has to be a title fight.
You know, fight for the title. Yeah, fighting for the title is what I want the most. Yeah, for sure. I want to fight the biggest fights, and I think the title fights it's going to be the biggest fights. If there were someone that was a bigger star than Francis at heavyweight who didn't have the title, then I would go for that. But I think Francis is the biggest star at heavyweight, him and I, and he has the title, so that's what I want.
And last thing for me, and that's what I wonder, like if for some reason Ciryl Gane happens to walk away with that title, you know what I mean? Like, of course, it would be great to go get that belt, but as you said, Ngannou's stock power, even Stipe, who's widely regarded as the greatest of all time. So if Gane wins the belt, does that change the focus a little bit?
I think it changes what the pay will be. Yeah, I don't think it's a mega fight, Ciryl Gane winning. I think he's so talented and he's great for the sport. I think he's very marketable. But he's still relatively unknown to the general public. And so I'm excited for either challenge. I think they present two completely different puzzles. But yeah, Francis is definitely a bigger star. It'd be a lot of money lost if Francis were to lose. But I don't care who wins the fight. I just want the championship.
Jon, you mentioned money. Dana's not exactly been quiet about, oh, Jon wants Deontay Wilder money, blah, blah. Is there a risk that you go to negotiate and you guys can't get this deal to be signed and you're just stuck out for even longer?
No, Dana, he guaranteed me that he would give me an increase in my next fight. So I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be pay-per-view based, so I'm going to have to work for the money that I get. I'm going to have to sell the fight. And I think that's something I haven't been good at in the past. You know, you look at guys like McGregor who just talks so much shit. He's so good at it. He's so good at it. He's so good at marketing himself. I have always just focused on winning. And I think when I come back as a heavyweight, I'll try to do more legally controversial shit so that I can maybe sell a little more pay-per-view.
What's the relationship like with Dana right now?
It's good. It's good. I think me hiring Richard Schaefer was one of the best decisions I've made. Instead of me getting on Twitter and attacking Dana and, you know, pouring my emotions out, I just allow Schaefer to get down to what's the most important in every situation and talk to the people that needs to be spoke to instead of me going back and forth with the fans on Twitter. So relationship's good. Schaefer has really helped out a lot.
Last thing for me. You know this fight with Alex, there's all these stories about you partying and all this. How bad was that training camp?
The training camp was terrible. The training camp was really bad. I really was partying a ton. And
What was the last time you partied in relation to the fight?
Oh man, I don't want to go back there, man. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I was, living that type of life, and I try to leave it in the past, But the second fight, how about that second fight? I feel like it was a good indication of, my focus levels.
So just one question. I just want to know what do you think of Anderson's boxing?
Anderson Silva's boxing match was beautiful. I have no problem with Tito Ortiz, but I love Anderson, and I was so proud of him to see him still hitting hard and just looking great. Yeah, still an inspiration, still inspiring me to this day. So thank you, Anderson.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Jon.